so honored to be here with you, sharing these practices. My name is Irina, and that is my face on that screen and this one. And let's do it. So this video will be recorded. You will not appear in the video, only I will, and everybody is muted. So don't worry about doing anything in front of the screen, like nobody can see it. For questions, there is a nice little Q&A tab at the bottom. You should see it. Feel free to pop any questions you have if they come up during the event, and I will get to them at the very end. And I will try to get to as many questions as I can with how much time we have. Closed captioning is available. So like it says, to turn it on, you can just click the live transcript icon at the bottom and select your preference. Agenda. Introduction. I'm going to just briefly introduce myself, who I am, and why I'm doing this. Then we will get into meditation and journaling. I do have a very loose agenda planned. I usually freestyle a lot of it, kind of just what comes up. I allow that. And I did plan for it to be 40 minutes, but depending on how it goes, I might shorten it a little bit just so that we have more time in the Q&A so we could get to more questions. But we'll see as it goes. Oh, and then that one, don't look at it. I'm actually going to share it at the very end. Okay, hello. Before I start any event, I really just like to check in because there's a lot that we probably were doing before this, and maybe we have a plan for after this. So let's just all take a moment to take a really deep breath in, all the way, fill your body, and then exhale out of your mouth. And 2 more just like that. Deep inhale. And open your mouth. Let something go. One more deep breath in. And let it go. I hope you're feeling a little bit more centered. So as I mentioned, I'm Irina. Thank you all so much for being here and spending your precious time with me. I'm really honored that you chose to participate. And I will do my best. I hope that you walk away with something. I really do. So who I am is, as I mentioned, my name is Irina. I actually work at Meetup on the community team, but meditation, intention setting, journaling, really all sorts of mindfulness practices are a really big passion of mine. They've helped me get through some really challenging times, and I continue to do them. Richard asked, can I check that we are on mute? Everybody here is on mute, so rest assured no one can hear you. You are on mute and your camera is turned off as well. Okay, so I have been practicing yoga and meditation for only 8 years. On and off, not strictly. I kind of fall in really intense practices, and then I have time where I don't do them anymore. To turn off subtitles, you can just click the live transcript button at the bottom. And so that brings me here. With all of the practices that I've gone through, I realized how much I love sharing them. And it started with sharing them with my friends, and then going on beyond. I started a wellness group at my company, sharing wellness events with my colleagues. And I also started a public meetup group. So if you like this event, you are most definitely welcome to join it. My first event is in a week, I believe. I'm going to put the link at the bottom, and I am going to mention it again. And yeah, like I said, you're more than welcome to join. This was this was one of my intentions. I had an early start with setting intentions, and one of them was to share and teach more. And so I went ahead and created a group. Hope to see you there. And so like I said before, we are going to be meditating. We're going to be journaling. With journaling, I really recommend that you have a pen and paper rather than typing on your computer or on a phone. So if you need to go get a pen and a paper, just go ahead and grab that now, so that you are all ready to start journaling when we get to that part. And we are going to be moving a little bit back and forth between meditating and journaling. So just I ask that you are a little patient with me and a little kind to yourself. I'm experimenting a little bit because usually I just do one big session and then a journaling session afterwards, but this time I'm going to be moving back and forth. And with that, I really want to ask you before we start anything is how you're feeling today. You know, what's going on for you? And this could just be a word, a short phrase, but I really like doing these check-ins because it's really profound for me to see the transition from something like overwhelmed, anxious, to then doing this practice and coming out of it and just moving that energy a little bit. So, you know, some people might be feeling really happy and grateful and joyous, but then it's also totally normal to feel emotionally drained, like somebody said, frazzled, anxious. All emotions and feelings are welcome in practices like this. And so I just ask that you're really honest with yourself and what you're feeling. Okay. Oh, I just read that somebody received some bad news today. I'm so sorry. I hope that, you know, you're moving through it and are supported. Okay. Okay, now that we did that, now that you have your word, let's begin our practice and see if any shifts happen to that. I'm gonna drink some tea before we start. Okay, so one big thing that I like to do before tuning in is to just take my palms together and rub them. This actually stimulates the nervous system and connects you deeper to your body. So just create some heat and then place them on opposite shoulders, grounding, connecting. Yeah, so giving yourself a really big hug for coming here and doing this work. And now I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and begin to tune inward. You can place your hands down and begin to deepen your breath. Breathing in through your nose and exhaling out of your mouth. Just tuning in with your inner world, noticing what's coming up for you. Keeping your eyes closed, I'm going to take you through a brief grounding practice just so that we can connect to the environment that we are in right now. And whether you are sitting on the floor or sitting on the chair, just make yourself a little bit more comfortable. Even if that means just 5% more comfortable, what can you do in this moment to really let your body know that it is safe? It is safe to feel, it is safe to be, and it is safe to breathe. Connecting to whatever surface you're sitting on, and imagining that there is a magnetic pull that is just getting a little bit stronger. So that connection is getting a little bit bigger. And continue to take really deep breaths as you do this. Just connecting. We will now go through a breathing practice. And so all you have to do is follow my instructions, and I will focus on being as clear as possible. So, wherever you are on your breathing journey, exhale everything out of your mouth. And then begin to breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in. And breathe out of your mouth for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay empty. And then breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it in. And breathe out of your mouth for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay empty. And breathe in from your nose for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it in. Really notice what happens in these moments of stillness where you're holding your breath. And then exhale, let something go for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay empty. And then breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. And now as you breathe out, exhale your breath and relax your face. Keeping your eyes closed, returning to your normal breathing. And I want to again bring awareness to your face. We hold a lot of tension, even though we sometimes don't realize that we do. And so I'll invite you to relax the space between your eyebrows. And then unclench your jaw. If you want, if it helps you, you can even pick up your hands and just gently massage your jaw. Letting go of any tension, any stress that you're holding in. With every exhalation, you are invited to release even more and drop even more into this current moment. We will now focus on dropping into some stillness. And by stillness, I also mean our surrounding. So what gets louder when we get quiet? And I'll invite you to listen, really listen as to what is happening around you. And that means the sound of my voice, but it can also mean some house noises. Maybe there is some construction work going on, or maybe you hear birds outside. All sounds are welcome and they're all part of this experience, so just listen. becoming the observer. And no noises, no sounds are bad or good. There's no need to judge them. They just are. Like I said, they're all a part of this experience. Keeping your eyes closed, I'm now going to ask you to put your hands on your heart center and just feel your heartbeat for a moment. Feeling your heartbeat is another really amazing way to connect with yourself. And now that we are in this space, I am going to ask you again to check in with what is coming up for you. So, how you are feeling in this moment. And really allowing whatever comes up to just be, giving it some space. And you might feel really good today. So, what would it be like to give that more room? Or you might feel sad, scared, anxious, overwhelmed. And so, what would it look like to give that feeling some room as well? Usually, when we give a feeling some room, it tends to shift a little bit. Sometimes it really just wants to be heard. And maybe this is the first time you're allowing this feeling in today or a week, maybe this whole year. Just really dropping into this human experience. And with the human experience, we feel a lot of things. We're supposed to. It's okay. Keeping your hands on your heart or putting them down if you want to. Really, this is your body, your choice. And I'll invite you to curl the corners of your lips into a gentle smile. And we are going to take a few deep breaths before coming out of this. And so you can keep your hands on your heart center, you can drop them down. The choice is yours. And once you do that, we will again push the breath out forcibly. And then inhale deep from your nose. Pause at the top. And then exhale. For the next two breaths, I'm going to ask you to put your hands right on your ribs so that you can really feel the expansion as you breathe deep in. Try to take in more breath. And then exhale. And one more really deep breath. Really allow yourself to take in as much oxygen as you can. Keep going. Pause at the top. And then sip in a little bit more. Tiny a little bit more. And then open your mouth and sigh it out. And now, keeping your gaze downwards, begin to softly open your eyes. And don't look at the computer screen just yet. We'll have enough of that. But for now, just try to shift your focus into something else in your room, whether it's a painting or the color of a wall. Just really becoming aware with what is. And then I'm going to also ask you to move your neck around in a gentle circle. So some of us have not moved today, and this is really nice to do. Just tuning in. Maybe take your arms and just bring them all the way up. Just reach up, 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 up. And then bring them down. We're going to turn. Look behind us. Come back to center. Breathe in. Look around the other side. My back just cracked. Come back to center. And we'll finish the same way that we started. So bringing your palms together, just create some heat. And place your hands on opposite shoulders, giving yourself another hug. And putting your hands down. Welcome back. Did anybody notice any shift in what you're feeling from that experience? Calmer and more relaxed. Nice. I'm happy to hear that. Oh, that was amazing. You're amazing. Thank you for coming. Somebody said, just realized how much I love myself. Oh, I love you. Self-love is so important. Self-love is like how just it really enhances your experience. It's just so important. That's how we change the world. You know, if everybody just started loving themselves, we would just be a really, really beautiful place. Okay, and now we're going to start journaling. So go ahead and grab that if you didn't already. And like I said before, I really recommend getting a pen and a paper. Somebody said, how do you deal with someone who says you're selfish when you spend a few months focused on self-love? I think that's really somebody else's projection. You know, if somebody calls you selfish for doing something that you are doing. And really with that is just extend more love. And I know it's like so easy to say, oh, just love them. But it's a practice and it's not going to kind of happen overnight. But that is like, it's okay. I don't think that we are supposed to be pleasing everybody. And it's okay to sometimes put yourself first. That's what I think. Okay. So, pen, mine's purple. And I'm going to do this with you because why not, right? We're all in this together. And so I should have mentioned this in the beginning, but really for journaling, for meditation too, but for journaling, I really just invite you to find a place where you can have some privacy. It really helps to drop in more and to just be more honest with yourself and the things that you write. And I am going to encourage you to be extremely honest in the things that you write. This is your journal, this is your space, and this is your practice. And just take your mask off, even if it's just for a moment. You know, you might be surprised at what comes up. So the first question is going back into the topic of checking in and being where we are, and that is, what's going on in my inner world today is. So again, it is what's going on in my inner world today is. And I'm going to type this prompt in the chat box as well. And like I said before, be honest. It's okay. You know, if you feel sad, it's okay to feel sad. And if you feel like, oh man, I'm really just not vibing with this meditation, that's okay. I'm not going to take it personally. But I just really want you to Right, somebody asked, do I just write? Yeah. If you've never journaled, I know it sounds so silly or like, what do I do? But just write. And if you don't know what to write, something that I do is I write, I don't know what to write. And then I'll write it again. I don't know what to write until eventually I promise you that you're going to end up writing something else. And like I said before, if you don't know what to write anymore, then write that. Really, the purpose of this is to get whatever is happening in your mind, just get it out and onto paper so that you have a little bit more room. Somebody, Anita said, basically speak to yourself. Yes, that's a really great way to put it. Just speak to yourself. And that's what my journal is. This is probably my 9th journal that I finished. And it really is just a dialogue that I have with myself, an ongoing dialogue. Just a few more seconds. I want to say like 30 seconds, and then we will finish this one and move on to the next prompt. And somebody asked, why do I recommend writing on paper versus typing it out? Hi, Caroline. I recommend it because there's really something special that happens when you don't have any technology around you. And if for some people, if writing on your computer or phone or iPad or really whatever you have, if that is what helps you, then I think it's okay. It really is it's a personal experience. And as long as you do it, I don't think it really matters how you do it. But something about writing it on paper is I can take my paper and pen everywhere. I don't have any other distractions. And I'm giving my eyes a break. That's really great too. Okay, so now the next prompt, pencils, pens down. The next prompt is going to be about things that we want to release. So this is an intention setting session. And before I set any intention, I think it's really important to let go of what is, just so that we can create some space for something new to come in. And this was a year. A lot happened for many of us. We've all grown tremendously and have experienced things we probably have not in the past. And so I imagine there might be more things to release this year, for me at least. You might be different. But anyhow, so the next prompt is what I want to let go of is. And I am going to type it again. So what I want to let go of is. And this could be a list. This could be sentences. This could be a picture. Really, the choice is absolutely yours. And it could also be very different. Maybe there's somebody that you need to forgive or that you want to forgive. That could be something to write on this list. Maybe it's a certain mental state. Maybe you've been complaining a bit lately. I know I've caught myself complaining a few times, and so I'm actively trying to work on that, and I'm definitely putting that on my list. Somebody said, T said, let go of clutter. I have this tendency where I say somebody said, where I see your name and I fully intend on really recognizing you by your name. And for some reason, I've been saying somebody said. So I'm going to put that on my list. T said, let go of clutter. And I really like that, T. I think there's a lot of clutter. There's mental clutter, there's physical clutter, there's emotional clutter. And I really like decluttering. So go ahead, keep writing. What I want to let go of is. Another thing that I am putting on my list is a tendency to make myself feel small sometimes. Like I am not there yet to do the thing that I'm trying to do. Like I'm not experienced enough or whatever it is. And so I'm going to let go of that this year. We're all powerful and we're all here with really incredible individual gifts. And what a shame it is to not see them through. So just a few more, just another moment. Somebody said, wow, that was an easy prompt. I said it again. Someone said, Cassandra, I apologize, Cassandra. Cassandra said, wow, that was an easy prompt, half a page letter. I'm glad that you are writing so much. Kitty said, how does one let go of fear? Why do you want to let go of it? What if instead you befriended your fear? One of my absolute favorite authors, a lot of you probably know her. Her name is Elizabeth Gilbert. She is the author of Eat, Pray, Love, which is incredibly famous. And she has a lot of talks on how to become friends with your fear. So I recommend checking that out. But one of the practices, she has many, one of the practices that I love, and again, it comes down to journaling, is to allow your fear to say what it wants to say, right? So in the journal, she would write from the place of fear, and everything that your fear is telling you, she would just write. And She does not interrupt the fear. She does not judge it. She does not make any commentary, but really let the fear speak through. And once she's done, she will put a period and start the next page. And on the next page, she will start writing to fear from a place of compassion. So, you know, our intuition usually has this like silver lining, like, oh, this is so scary. But deep down, I know that it's for my own good. So we all have that. And so that is one advice that I will give you. Okay, pens down. And now for our, it's actually 3:40. I was like, oh, we're gonna have so much time left, but we don't. But this is the most important part. I think this is what a lot of you came here for, and it's intention setting. And for this part, the prompt is what I want to bring in is, I'm going to type it out again as well. What I want to bring in is, and this one is so important, especially for, you know, we have this like new year coming. And so in a lot of cultures that does signify something new. And so I encourage you to, again, be super honest. What is your heart's deepest desire? What do you want your year to look like? And it could be a feeling that you want to feel. I think a really popular, you know, resolution, we're not doing resolutions, we're doing intentions. There's a little difference, I think. But a lot of people, a lot of resolutions will look something like, I want to lose X pounds. But with intention, maybe your intention could be, I want to feel really good in my body. You know, I want to have mental clarity. Somebody said, what if, DJ said, what if I feel lost and feel that I don't know what I want? DJ, I'll invite you to put your hands on your heart and close your eyes and ask yourself again, what is my deepest desire? And just go with whatever comes up. John asked, are these prompts meant to be a one-time exercise or can they be used daily? It's up to you. Completely up to you. Joanne said, I want to feel loved and a strong virtual hug. I'm giving you one right now. I hope you feel it all the way where you are. And keep writing. What is your heart's deepest desire? What do you want to bring in? Another question I sometimes ask myself is, what dreams am I giving up to please somebody else? That could be something you bring in 2021. Gregory likes my mug. Thank you. I like it too. It says, let that shit go. Very appropriate for our meeting. And I'm sorry for cursing. I don't know if there are any children, but I apologize. Peter asked, always struggle with that one, Irina. Going after your own dreams can be seen as selfish. Can it? You know, maybe something that would be easier is to find a line in which you can do both. So if you have kids or loved ones, like I am not, my recommendation isn't for you to leave tomorrow and go join a rock band or something like that. But just finding something that you can do to give yourself something that your heart is asking for. Okay. And just 30 more seconds. Josh said, definitely go join a rock band tomorrow, though. And Josh is saying that because he is in a band. He works with me, so I know that for a fact. Okay, thumbs down. And for our last prompt, I really just want to express some gratitude. And this one is going to be really short, but I want you to give gratitude to resources that you have that make you feel good. You know, like self-care resources that are available to you that allow you to ground and just like exhale. And that could look very different for everybody. So maybe you have a pet or being out in nature. Maybe it's journaling, writing. So the prompt is, I'm grateful to have. Maybe it's being in a rock band or really whatever. Maybe it's a loved one. I'm grateful for my partner who's actually in this session, but in another room, dialing in from his computer. So, hi, Mike. Thanks for being here. Okay, I think we're nearing the end. So, I hope that you were able to come up with some resources. And I would encourage you to do at least one of them, or if it's a practice, to do one of them today. Like if it's something like taking a bath, then I encourage you to take a bath tonight. And if it's a loved one, then I encourage you to tell them how grateful you are for them. Okay, so we did not, oh, Christina asked, what book do I recommend by Elizabeth Gilbert? I recommend Big Magic. It's all about creativity and becoming more comfortable with your fear. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, I am going to share my slides because I had something else prepared for y'all. So just give me one moment. Share screen. Okay. So this is how you can set intentions on your own if you don't want to listen through everything that I guided you through. Again, and you can just really do this in your own time, in your own space. So the first thing that I like to do is to just check in. Start with where you are and what's happening for you. And that could look like taking a few deep breaths, noticing your surroundings, and just generally tuning in with how you're feeling. Then we're going to go to the journal. So making a note of your present state and listing things, emotions, challenges that you'd like to let go of. As before, now that you've let them go, what do you want to bring in? So listing feelings, hopes, growing opportunities that you would like to bring in. Visualize. This is the part that I was really hoping to get to, and I'm sorry, the first meditation was a little bit longer, so we didn't get to this part. But as I mentioned before, I created my own meetup group. So if you want to do more stuff like this, just join my group. I will share it in the chat after this. So visualize. Imagine yourself releasing the things on your let go list, and then imagine your intentions coming true. So this is another meditation. For gratitude, This is how I like to finish all my practices, but just to express appreciation for what you have. We are way more fortunate than we sometimes feel. And this is this is really great to tune in. Give thanks to yourself for showing up to this practice. Like, you've done such great work today. And so I am giving thanks to you. And then make a list of self-care resources, just like we did. And as a bonus, like I said, do one right after. And before I jump into Q&A, just want to say that you can do this too. You can become a meetup organizer. Like I said, I just became one. So if you're interested in starting your own group, we are offering 50% off on your first subscription payment. There's the link. And if you need the link again, just ask for it. And one of my colleagues will drop it in. All right, let's get to Q&A. So again, I'm gonna put my group. I would hope to see you there. It's meetup.com/with stillness. I don't know if that link popped up. I'm gonna type it in again. meetup.com/with stillness. I hope to see you there. Okay, now let's get to the Q&A. Mark asked, do you keep all journals? I have been burning some as a way of letting go of the past. I keep them all. And I believe Derek was asking as well if I read them, and I do not read them. I always want to, and I always intend to, but I do not reread my journals. I don't know why. I really just like writing and de-stressing, and it really allows me to tune in more with what's happening. Like I said, it's a dialogue that I have with myself. I don't really go back on my dialogues. So, but burning is a great way. And actually, you can burn your let go list. So for the journaling practice, when we wrote down things that we want to let go of, something that you could do that's really, I've done it once and it was really powerful, but to burn that list safely. Don't need to start any fires, but as a way to kind of symbolize that you're letting go. Let's see. Denise asked, how do I free myself from the fears that someone may see what I write? Well, I would say take good care of your journal. Keep it in a private space so that nobody else sees it. But another thing you could do, like I mentioned before, is to rip up the page after you wrote it, if it's something really personal, or you can burn it. So just get rid of the evidence. No one has to know. No one has to see it. This is such an intimate practice, and it's here for you, and you don't have to share it with anybody. Leanne asked, what do I do with my full journals? I just have them. I just keep them. They just take up room, and I don't do anything with them. But my journal is a space of, like I said, this dialogue. I do stream of consciousness journaling, which means that I don't usually have prompts. I usually just will write the date, and whatever comes up, I will keep going. I will write. So stream of consciousness, I think it's a really amazing tool. But I also write, if I hear a quote that I really like, I'll write it down, or if I'm taking notes on a workshop I've attended. So I do have some journals, and it's like organized chaos, but I remember exactly what journals have kind of like what I want. And I went back to just find that quote, notes, or whatever it is. Colleen asked, but what does that mean, writing to your fear from a place of compassion? What does that actually sound like? Imagine that you were a toddler, like a baby, and you really wanted to just take care of this baby and give them all the love, all the gold stars, the attention, whatever they need. And so if this child came to you and said, hey, I'm really scared, I don't think I'm good enough, you would say, what, honey, are you kidding me? You are the best. You are just so incredible. You are amazing. And so that is what that would look like. I hope that helps. Masande, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Do you have a schedule for journaling, a specific time, day, week set aside? I love to write in the mornings, but no, I don't have a schedule. Sometimes I will just like feel things and I feel so frustrated and just like, ah. And in those times, I have grabbed my journal and I'll just write. So, whatever it is that brought me this feeling, frustration, anger, I will write it down. And usually by page three, I try to do 3 pages, like full pages. But by page three, something really magical starts to happen. The energy shifts. And this is where my compassion comes in. This is where I start writing things like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad. It's a thing. Like, it's okay. Thank you for coming and journaling about this. I love you. You'll get through this. So I really start to become so much more encouraged. Uh, Kat asked, how often do you recommend practicing this exercise? What do you do when you feel like you're too busy? I think that we can always find a few minutes, even if it's just 5 minutes. I know that sometimes we are incredibly busy, but you can set a little reminder for yourself. Maybe if you have kids or responsibilities, a very demanding job, it might look like waking up just 5 minutes earlier or spending 5 minutes before going to bed. And over time, you'll see that you have more room somehow. There's a really great quote that a lot of meditation teachers drop, and it is that if you don't have an hour to meditate, then you need to find two. Kristen asked, what are your thoughts on seated meditation versus lying down? I think both are wonderful. If you are going to be lying down, just make sure you don't fall asleep, because that's my problem. If I lie down, I'm going to fall asleep. I am going to, yeah, I'm going to fall asleep. Um, Malcolm asked, earlier you talked about giving your feelings space. What does that mean? It means that sometimes we push away the things that we are feeling. So if we feel, let's use anger, for example, we feel anger and we try to hide it. We don't want anybody else to know that we're feeling this way. We don't want anybody else to, find out, or really whatever it is, whatever your reasons for not becoming like, for not confronting that feeling with yourself. Um, so when I say giving that space, the question is like, what would it look like to just sit for a moment and allow yourself to feel angry or jealous or whatever it is, to just give that feeling some room? Because a lot of times I find that if I'm feeling a certain way, it really is, I'm receiving like a signal to do something. Like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe I made a commitment to something I actually didn't want to do, and I'm feeling a certain way. And so if I am just like acknowledging that feeling, and like I said before, talking to myself like a toddler, like, hey, oh, I know you're feeling upset. Like, I know it's okay. Usually that feeling tends to shift. It's really amazing. I just recommend that you try it. Carolina asked, how do you heal through journaling? Oof. It's very personal, right? For me, it's helped me heal a lot of things. And it's because I become very honest in the things that I write. If I've experienced a traumatic experience or something else that my body just refused to let go of, writing about it allows me to validate the thing. When I write about it, I can acknowledge it that, yeah, this happened. And sometimes when I write it and then just even read what I wrote, I'm like, interesting. Okay. Sometimes I'm a little hard on myself. What does it feel like to read this? Yeah, I hope that helped. We have 2 minutes. We're nearing the end. Something that I thought, I usually like to finish with a quote, but something else that I thought I might want to finish with is pulling a card, and some of you are probably like very, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to pull an oracle card. But for those of you that this is completely new, maybe it's a little woo-woo. This is a wild spirit animal deck. And they are essentially a deck of oracle cards, and each one has an animal on it. And then there's a little book that goes along with the cards, and there's a message to it. So take, it doesn't have to resonate with you, but I am just so confident that it will resonate with at least one person on this chat. So let's go ahead. And the card that we got is a panther. And now I'm going to read it. I love pulling cards as another way to like prompt journaling for myself. And it's another really great way to heal. I use tarot cards, oracle cards. I have a few decks, but this one is my favorite right now. So the panther is annihilation of the unnecessary, purging. The panther will not stand to see our growth or energy stagnate. Instead, it pounces into our lives and causes all kinds of havoc, with the ultimate intention of bringing us towards more fulfilling lives. It's unexpected, uncomfortable, and sometimes feels devastating. But after all the dust clears, it's easy to see the panther's wisdom at work. We've all been through these experiences, and they've made us better people. Trust that the panther's journey always leads to a brighter place. When in balance, this card is brave and productive. When out of balance, you may feel self-destructive. To bring into balance, get rid of the unnecessary. Wow, that was very appropriate for what is happening now, I think. Okay, so that was the session. Thank you all so much for coming. I really hope that you took something away from this. As I said before, I do have a meetup group. If you want more sessions with me, I would love to have you. My group is meetup.com/with stillness. And I'm going to type it out again, but there's a lot of thank yous going on. So yeah, it's already gone. Okay. Bye, everybody.